Derby County have just announced the signing of 24-year-old US men's national team striker Patrick Agyemang in a deal which brings him to Pride Park Stadium from Charlotte FC for a fee of around $8 million, which converts to about £6 million. Now, obviously, Patrick Agyemang is a very, very raw talent, and he's signed on a 4-year contract which will keep him at Derby County until 2029. Now, obviously, when we look at Patrick Agyemang, we've got to acknowledge the fact that he's only been playing senior men's football for the past 2 years, and he obviously has been playing for Charlotte. He scored 10 goals during the 2024 season, and obviously has been in a decent spell of form this season as well, and he's currently one of the main talking points of Mauricio Pochettino's US men's national team side, which went all the way to the final of the Gold Cup. Now, obviously, Patrick Agyemang is a very, very raw talent, and I do believe that he will be very good. There's pace, there's power, and I think that he could be absolutely brilliant. But shall we talk about it a little bit more? Do you want to win yourself the brand new Derby County 2025-26 home shirt? Well, I'm here to give you an opportunity to do that. There will be a link down in the description where you can head on over to raffle.com to join a raffle where you can win the Derby County home shirt. Ticket prices start at just £1 with a range of different discounts available. You can buy 2 tickets, get 2 free, 5 tickets, get 5 free, 10 tickets, get 10 free, and 15 tickets to get 15 free. The intention with this is to give you guys the opportunity to win a Derby County shirt for less than the valued cost in the shop. So if you haven't done so already, head on down to the description, click on the link in the description, which will take you over to raffle.com, create yourself an account, answer the question, and join this raffle. The winner will be announced on August 1st at 6 p.m. as the transfer window begins to draw to a close. So if you haven't done so already, head on over there and get your tickets. Now, obviously, looking at Patrick Agyemang, it's been a deal that has been sort of here, there and everywhere over the course of probably the last 2 weeks, really, and I've spoke about every little bit of it, from turn up at training at Charlotte FC to the medical a few days later to the first bid going in, the second bid going in, the interest, all of those things. And it's always very interesting when you look at signings like this, because obviously Agyemang has came through the US college system, which ultimately ended up with him being drafted to Charlotte FC. And I think it's always very interesting to sort of look at how players have different pathways and things like that. And I think it's the same really when you look at sort of like academy players. And I think when you look at sort of like youth team players, right, if we had Dejan Brown and sort of and only had 2 years in the first team, blah de blah, and only scored 18 senior goals, things like that, it'd probably be a little bit more of a conversation. But for me, I think through that US men's sort of collegiate system which they have going on, I think he's going to have a well-rounded development. He's obviously done something right, in my opinion, because Dean Smith's view on it was obviously one that was very much of disappointment that he was leaving Charlotte FC. He didn't want him to move to Derby County. He felt like it was more of a sideward step. But for me, I think that this opens the door to much better opportunities. And I think if he goes next season and scores 10 goals, let's say, I think we can be happy with that sort of return, in my opinion. Now, I said, I can't remember if it was on TikTok or Twitter, that for me, I'd like Agyemang, Morris, Selverson to, across the course of the season, have like 50 contributions. Now, obviously, that's 3 strikers. So you're looking at what 10 goals, 10 assists each on average sort of thing. Obviously, that would make 60, but you get my sort of gist. And I'm not saying that any of the strikers are going to have 10 assists or whatever, but for me, if you can have that sort of 15 to 20 contributions from a striker, I think you're in a really good place. I remember back to someone like Chris Martin, who was very good at leading the line, building people into play. And now, I'm not saying that Agyemang is that similar sort of player, but I certainly believe that there's quality there that can be harnessed and can be developed. And I think his ability to run in behind, his pace, his power, for me, is one of the main attributes which I'm really looking forward to seeing for Derby County. Now, obviously, I'm not anticipating that he will be playing this weekend. In regards to that, well, actually, it's interesting because I've just now read on the statement that Agyemang's been playing with a hernia injury. been playing with discomfort, and he will miss the opening games of the season as he's got to undergo a routine surgery. Now, it's obviously brilliant that we've got this deal done. Obviously disappointed about the injury, but it's one of those things where we've now got this player in the door. So we've got 3 really good strikers. We've got a young loan. It's not a young loan, is it? We've got a striker who is now young and can be loaned out in Dejan Brown. You've got someone like Lennon Wheeldon, Charles Abuka, who can go and get those opportunities as well. And I just think it puts us in a really good place, because you add Agyemang to that forward line, and I think we look really, really good. Now, don't get me wrong, I still think Derby County are in desperate need of wingers. I think we're in desperate need of sort of creative-minded midfielders and more of a sort of dictator of play, a Lewis Travis sort of vibe. But I think this is a brilliant, brilliant signing for Derby County. Now, it is going to be interesting to see what is going to happen over the course of the next few weeks, and obviously with him set to miss the start of the season, it sort of gives that opportunity for, in my opinion, obviously it gives the opportunity for him to obviously get to know the teammates, the coaching staff, the area, and essentially it gives him that opportunity to settle into Derby before he has to worry about the pressure of playing, if you know what I mean. And I think it's brilliant to see. I think he's going to be an excellent, excellent player for Derby. I just obviously think there is going to be those doubts, there is going to be those queries in regards to obviously the MLS and things like that, and some of the things the American fan base have sort of said about him. But for me, I do believe there's a lot there. I believe there's a lot of talent. I believe there's a lot of goal scoring nous that is going to be sort of honed in on by John Eustace. And this is the 5th signing of the summer, and it is, in my opinion, one of the more important ones. I think the 2 signings of Morris and Patrick Agyemang are going to be really, really important. But now, for me, the next step has to be looking in that wing department. Because don't get me wrong, I think Corey Blackett-Taylor may come good, but I think he's still missing a bit. Not entirely sure how I feel about Caden Jackson. And it's one of those for me where if we want to play a back 4, you need wingers. And at the current moment, I think the wingers that we have, I don't necessarily have the faith in, because I don't think they've shown what we need to see, if that makes sense. And some of you may agree, some of you may disagree. But for me, that's what Derby County need to focus on next. Getting in some top quality wingers that are sort of really going to sort of change the situation that's going on. And I do think it's a brilliant opportunity. I think that obviously Agyemang coming to England, it gives him that opportunity of opening the door for a potential move to the Premier League, or maybe even helping Derby County get promoted. And I think that's the important thing, is obviously Derby County are wanting to push further and further up the league, and I think that the money involved in this deal certainly does show that. Now, obviously, you can have your opinion, I'll have mine, and we'll sort of go our own way on that one. But as I said earlier, a little bit disappointing that he's going to miss the start of the season, but obviously I'd rather him be sort of fit and raring to go than sort of playing on an injury, because we saw last season the likes of Kane Wilson, Sondre Langas, Selverson. We saw so many players playing on injuries, and I just don't necessarily think that is the right way to go. Now, obviously, that does mean that it will be Morris and Selverson to start the season, but we'll have to wait and see how that does develop. Maybe another striker will be on the way, but you can let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you have not done so already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next one. Do you want to win yourself the brand new Derby County 2025-26 home shirt? Well, I'm here to give you an opportunity to do that. There will be a link down in the description where you can head on over to raffle.com to join a raffle where you can win the Derby County home shirt. Ticket prices start at just £1 with a range of different discounts available. You can buy 2 tickets, get 2 free, 5 tickets, get 5 free, 10 tickets, get 10 free, and 15 tickets to get 15 free. The intention with this is to give you guys the opportunity to win a Derby County shirt for less than the valued cost in the shop. So if you haven't done so already, head on down to the description, click on the link in the description, which will take you over to raffle.com, create yourself an account, answer the question, and join this raffle. The winner will be announced on August 1st at 6 p.m. as the transfer window begins to draw to a close. So if you haven't done so already, head on over there and get your tickets.